Take two. I just tried to record a video for you guys and it was absolutely perfect in every single way, shape and form, except for the fact, excuse me, I'm just climbing over a stile, except for the fact that I'm using my new fancy windproof microphone because it is quite windy here in Cheshire, and I just listened to the audio feedback and it was crackly and everything, so I'm trying again. I hope this works this time. I'll probably get the video wrong, but never mind, I'll just crack on anyway. I wanted to record this video today as well as to test my fancy microphone thing to answer a question I get from a lot of clients and people I know who are looking to make the start on the journey to entrepreneurship, to starting their own business. And one of the questions I get a lot is, what book shall I read? What resources should I sort of surround myself with to really accelerate that journey and to get me on the right track? And I thought I'd make a little video to recommend probably 3 of the most impactful books that you could read or listen to if you get the audiobooks. 2 of them were massively influential on my journey early on in particular, and then the third one is something that I read recently but I wish I'd read earlier on, packed full of useful tips and things like that to kind of help change your mindset and really focus in on where you want to go. So without further ado, the first book I'd recommend is, as many of you probably know but many of you might not have read, is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. His first book in particular is probably a good place to start. I believe it's called What the Rich Teach Their Kids About Money But the Poor Do Not. It sounds a bit of a controversial title, but and he is sort of controversial in the way he puts his message across, but for anyone who's looking to get into business and basically change your mindset from being an employee who regards structure and security from a paycheck highly, and they're looking to change that mindset, then that's the first and most influential book I would read. It changed the way I view things massively and really kickstarted me. I've got more books after that which I would follow up on later. The second book I'd recommend is, again, quite a well-known book, but if you haven't read it or listened to it, I strongly recommend it, and that's Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week. He's got a few books out and he's really made a name for himself. Sorry, another style here. He's really made a name for himself, and the 4-Hour Work Week is a really good book for those of you who are looking at combining travel, who want to live a sort of a different life. They're bored of the 9 to 5, they want to expand themselves, they want to get out and see the world, but they also want to make money while they're doing it. So if that kind of lifestyle appeals to you, you enjoy the travel, you want to get a bit of geo arbitrage, as he calls it, making the most of cheap currencies and cheap prices around the world, but still earn US dollars. That's a really, really good book. Really actionable tips and tricks for you to make that happen, and debunking a lot of myths about the costs of things, about the risks involved, and about how you can overcome difficulties. The book is now, I think it was 2009, so it's now fairly old actually, but a lot of the tips in there are still relevant. But make sure if you do follow the tricks, you look online to see what the latest and greatest versions of those are, because I'm sure things will have advanced a lot since then. The third most impactful book I'd recommend is The $100 Startup by Chris Guillebeau. I'm not entirely sure how to say his name. And again, that's one I read only about 6 months ago. Or I listened to, sorry, but if I'd read it earlier, it would have made a much more impactful, would have had a much bigger impact on me. So I'm recommending it to you guys early on in your journey. And that's more along the lines of people who are like, right, business is for me, I want to start my own business, but I'm not sure how I can leverage my existing skills, my knowledge, my passions, and how I can turn that into money. And also, again, a bit like Tim Ferriss, debunking the myth of how much money it takes to start up these businesses and whether you need to quit your job and all that kind of stuff. So it shows you how you can maximize your skills and how you can do so in a way that's mitigating a lot of the risk, how you can do it as a side thing, like moonlighting around your job. And he uses a lot of case studies. One of the most important things is the case studies he gives you, all the different examples of how people have turned what they perceive as useless skills into actual, a lot of money and a really viable business. So yeah, that's another one I'd recommend. He's also written another one after that, I believe, called The Side Hustle. So that's another good one I'd recommend. But yeah, for those are the 3 I'd recommend. I would suggest getting the audible.com, the Audible app. Listen to that on your phone if you spend a lot of time in the car, walking, or on the train. If you listen to the books on 1.25 or 1.5 speed, you can get a lot of content out with no extra time. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend. And if you have any questions read those, then just get in contact and I'd be happy to help you out. Lovely stuff. Well, my hands are freezing cold now, so I'm going to leave you and I will check in soon. Bye bye.